You can never have an idea of the things that happen behind the scene before and after the programs. And that was Jimmy. He's the only person I know in the whole world who can identify a person's nationality from their structure. I've never seen that in my life. Plus Sports special on Plus TV Africa on a Saturday morning. Welcome on the show. My name is Wale Scott. I've got Semilore Adenekan. I've got Victor Goeffrey. Good morning.
Good morning.
You're not laughing because you have no idea what I'm talking about.
I have no idea.
You have no idea.
I'm trying to figure out how you can tell the nationality by just appearance.
We can't explain that.
You can't explain that.
We can't.
But that's not.
We can explain later, not here.
Not on morning TV.
No, you can't.
And structure was a very politically correct word that you used.
It was spot on.
Yeah.
That's remarkable. I will see how it works with biracial individuals.
I don't think
we'll find out later. Welcome on the show. Now, some good news this morning. Nigeria's hammer thrower, Annette Edikwonke, has qualified for this summer's Tokyo 2020 Olympics. 25-year-old who became eligible to represent Nigeria in January set a personal record of 73.93 meters at the Tucson Elite Classic in Arizona, where she finished second in the early hours of Friday to become the 11th Nigerian athlete to qualify for the Olympic Games. Blessing Okagbari, Divine Obduduru, Ese Brume, Tobi Amushan, Chukwuebuka Enekwechi, Raymond Ekwenwa, Favor Ofili, Ruth Osuru, Grace Onwakocha, and Osherise Ishekiri are the other athletes who have qualified for the world's biggest sporting event. The Tokyo 2020 Olympics is scheduled to hold from July 23rd to August 8th. Once again, I've come again. I'll start with you, Victor, on this one.
All right.
Every athlete I have listed out now, including Annette, who just qualified, all ply their trade, train abroad. So you can justify their qualification.
Yeah, I was going to point that out because once you mentioned that the competition was in Arizona, which is of course in the United States of America, and it is, I don't know, it is very sad really if you think about it, because it tells you the lack of infrastructure we have here at home, the decay in our sporting sector it's nothing to write home about. Hopefully with this reset button that was pressed a few weeks ago, with the dissolution of so many of ministries and stuff like that, I think we can have a chance to rebuild. Not now, it's a long-term project, thinking 20 years from now even, so we can get back, because these competitions come once in 4 years and it takes time to groom athletes. It's a very long process. You need a proper training facility, great trainers. You need to have experts in different aspects of an athlete's regiments as a professional. So we don't have all that in Nigeria. We don't. And of course, this lady based in the US is exposed to the best in terms of sporting.
It's sad to note, Semilore, that our structures are there and people in charge know what to do and just overlook it. The only person that would have been a star sports person in my family in basketball actually got his foot stuck in the floorboard at the National Stadium basketball court. Wow. He broke that leg and he can never play basketball again. And he's on the professional level. I think it's sad that these same courts are used for church services, used for parties instead of what they're actually supposed to be used for.
A couple of weeks ago, you said something like, how many professional swimming pools do we even have in Lagos? Maybe a Koi club.
These are elite clubs.
These are elite clubs.
Yeah.
State-owned, state-funded. And with all these athletes, the ones you named, it's quite interesting that for them to represent Nigeria at the Olympics, or whether it be in basketball, in football, whatever, because they've trained outside Nigeria, it's kind of like they have to show a level of patriotism, because what do they actually owe Nigeria? A lot of these people that have trained outside Nigeria, for example, they have diaspora, they are born probably in America or born in the UK, and you expect them to come back and represent Nigeria. My question would be why, or what would Nigeria have done back for them? And it's quite a controversial conversation, because it's like, okay, you own Nigeria, these are where your parents are from, you own Nigeria, but what you have to give back, these countries that are also training our children, training our Nigerian diaspora, they've put the effort in, they've put the pounds, put the money into the, so.
I also even have to add a point, and this may seem, you may want to laugh about this.
Yeah.
I usually say sometimes some of these athletes choose to play for Nigeria or represent Nigeria
Because
they
they
can't make it into
Yeah, no, that is true. No, that is true as well.
No, but the truth is,
That is true as well.
yeah,
That has
when,
got to
when,
be-
when I interviewed Olumide Oyedeji on a different platform, he actually confessed and said, I had to go and play the, he used the word, the blackmail card or something on the basketballers abroad. He said he actually had to tell each, and we had a meeting with them individually, and told them, guys, the truth is you can't make the dream team. You can't make the US dream team.
You can't.
And if you want to play basketball at the biggest level, the Olympics and all that, come to Nigeria. He said sometimes he still feels bad about playing that card, but that's the card he used. And we have the best team in Africa, male and female, as we speak. All because somebody thought of playing a blackmail card.
But then again, let's not take away the amazing achievement. Like you mentioned, the names you have mentioned are legendary athletes that have represented us in the past at Olympics, stemming from Seoul 88 to Barcelona 92, all the way down to Tokyo 2021, if it will actually happen, or 2020. But the reality of the matter is that as she has done something great, I think those in charge of sports in Nigeria now need, we always say go back to the drawing board.
Which drawing board?
We've been selling we've been buying drawing
The board
boards.
is gone.
We've been buying drawing boards in Nigeria for so many years. So let's stop buying drawing boards. Let's maybe use an iPad or something, and let's go and try and fix sports in Nigeria. Because the truth of the matter is that eventually time is going to come whereby we would not even have any presence internationally. I mean international. I'm not talking about the global stage. Continental in Africa, not even Africa, regional, West Africa. We won't even have a presence anymore in competition of any sport or any form if we go at this rate.
Before we go next, Semilore, every time every sports minister comes to sing the same song. And when this guy came there too, he was singing the same song too. My tenure is going to be filled with grassroots sportsmen and women. I'm going to work on the grassroots. I'm going back to the grassroots. People are qualifying now. Nobody in the grassroots yet. The same song.
It's very easy to use the word grass. I think grassroots is just a buzzword for a lot of these ministers. Just like, okay, it's what glitters.
It's campaign tool.
It's PR. It's just all PR because, and especially even with politics as well, when you're about to enter office, what you say is not what you actually do.
Eventually,
Eventually. So, and interesting. Joshua, apparently, he went to Nigeria, wanted to represent Nigeria. Anthony Joshua. Okay. Yes. So when V6 said something like they can't represent Nigeria, so they'll go and represent abroad, sometimes they come to Nigeria first, not until the Western country takes you to Nigeria.
At least we know two sportsmen we can actually say, honestly here, Joshua came, they said he wasn't good enough.
Yes.
Almighty David Alaba of Austria and Bayern Munich said he came and he was told to go and bring money.
And then we'll say they don't represent us.
Sunday is going to be D-Day for 3 clubs. They must win their games. If they don't win their games, they just might not. Chelsea might slip up. If they do lose their game or draw and Liverpool and Leicester win, Chelsea will not be at the Champions League except they beat Man City on the 29th. Now let's look at what Chelsea coach had to say, and he must win that match tomorrow. Thomas Tuchel said he will be in a bubble on the final day of the Premier League season as Chelsea take on Aston Villa. The Blues need 3 points at Villa Park to qualify for next season's UEFA Champions League, with Tuchel admitting he may cast one eye over scores elsewhere. Liverpool and Leicester can also still finish in the top 4, but Tuchel knows his side will feel less pressure in next week's Champions League final if they get the job done tomorrow.
If we have results that have an influence to the amount of risk that we need to take, whatever, because we are not leading or not comfortable leading or whatever, then we need to know. It's also we need to be professional. I prefer not to know, but if it's necessary, we need to know to adapt our risk management and during the game. I think this is quite normal. First of all, we approach the game like the game against Leicester. It's in our hands, and we can decide things with a win. So we prepare this game to be ready to win it. But as you know, in a football match, there can be a lot of twists and turns. So we need to be ready for everything on our pitch and on the other pitch. You need to adapt to what the game demands and to the situations. It was the moment, and it was a crucial moment for us in the season to maintain the possibility to reach our targets and The team had a very good response to it, and we had several games under pressure and in crucial moments, and we always had a very, very good response. So we trust ourselves to be able to perform again. It's a completely different setup. It's away game, away fans, strong team, strong Aston Villa side, play without any pressure. So very big challenge, but we're up for it. It keeps you on the edge, brings out the best in you, and you can absolutely feel the excitement. We felt it. We felt it in Wembley. We felt it Tuesday. We felt it also from our spectators. It was not like a normal match in Premier League. We had clear target. We needed to win to like I said, to maintain our goals, and that sets a certain tone and brings a certain intensity and energy that is very, very special. It's not like this for all 65 matches a year. But when these matches arrive, it gets very special, and it brings you a certain amount of excitement that you cannot find nowhere else.
Tuchel says he's going to have eyes elsewhere on scores on other matches. Of course, naturally on Liverpool and Leicester's match precisely. He didn't say that. But he says qualifying now will take a lot of pressure off him.
100%. Yeah, I believe
for the finals.
I believe for the big clubs now in Europe, especially in England, minus maybe challenging for the title or winning maybe a domestic cup, qualification for the Champions League is also priority for them. So minus, let's forget the Champions League that's going to happen in a week's time. He is hell-bent, so to speak, to qualify Chelsea for the Champions League. That would be, it would be a disaster actually to some extent if Chelsea don't qualify for the Champions League this season.
Then don't beat Man City.
Well, we don't know yet, but
no, what I'm saying is that it will be
a
disaster.
To be a bad season. Yeah, you lost the FA Cup final, you didn't qualify for Europe, you lost. What is going on? And then he spent lots of. Don't forget Chelsea by this time last year, where there was so much excitement because they bought so many great players, potentially great players, and then all of a sudden the season didn't go out the way they wanted it to. So I think the pressure really is on Chelsea and their coach Thomas Tuchel, and he needs to also vindicate himself in the point that he hasn't really achieved the big goal yet in his career.
Yeah.
At PSG, he lost last year at the Champions League final. So I think he needs to also prove that
for himself,
personally. I'm a great manager, exactly.
Okay, let me take a swipe at Chelsea fans. Like I remember Frank right now. Frank is probably watching now. Chelsea are going to be wearing a shirt. It's a red and pink,
pinkish, bluish.
And it's called the Crystal Palace jersey because it looks like the Crystal Palace.
Their third kit.
And that jersey was voted the third worst jersey kit in the world.
I agree with that.
Third worst. That's how ugly it was. But they have no choice, but that's what they're going to be wearing in the finals. They might be lifting the trophy with that jersey. They are going to be lifting the trophy with the third, voted the third worst.
Potentially.
No,
potentially.
To be fair, Chelsea fans wouldn't actually mind because they've played well in that kit. They haven't played too badly when they won that kit.
But the kit is
the kit is ugly. The kit is
really ugly.
Interesting what Tuchel said, saying that Thomas Tuchel said, saying that he's going to be watching other games. I don't want to hear that from a world-class manager, especially when it's in your hands. Win your game, you've qualified.
There you go, yeah.
So you do realize this season, Aston Villa have been the banana peel for all the big teams.
Yeah, 100%. But so focus on beating Aston Villa. Don't focus on another game. Leave that to the fans. You hear the noises. You hear.
Yeah, but there's no way you're running a race. Sometimes you need to,
No, you don't.
Usain Bolt didn't look
behind. See what's up,
he did. Usain Bolt actually looked behind as he was about to cross the finish line. He did that.
Usain Bolt looks at the.
He looked behind.
When he's winning 100, when he's breaking the world records, he's not looking behind.
He did actually.
In Beijing, he looked behind.
He did. He had that
and in Berlin, he looked behind.
He did.
He has a similar condition that looks behind.
Okay, I'm sorry. I apologize. I refute my comment.
Now, but again, he shouldn't actually.
Now, hopefully, Aston Villa can make it happen tomorrow.
What are you?
But
for Chelsea or against Chelsea?
No, I'm talking about Jurgen Klopp now.
Okay.
Hopefully, they can make it happen against Chelsea tomorrow. Then people like Klopp can try and win their games. So Jurgen Klopp suggested a team with injuries that Liverpool suffered this season couldn't have won the Premier League. The German believes without their defensive stability, newly crowned champions Manchester City would have also struggled. Klopp praised the side's unity and making the best of a difficult situation to put themselves into top 4 contention, with a crucial final game against Crystal Palace awaiting them tomorrow, Sunday.
We lost our centre halves, all of them pretty much. We broke our legs, but we could still win games. Not always with the most convincing football, but we could win games. We're still scoring, all these kind of things. Then we had to at that time to make midfielders, to transform them into centre halves, and that broke our spine because then the whole static was gone. The young boys were not ready to play centre halves. The midfielders had to play centre halves that time, and we lost rhythm. We lost pretty much everything all of a sudden, but not all the time. Let me remember one game in this very negative period where we, what I said, nearly or would have gone nearly relegated. The game away at Leicester. I never lost a game before like that, to be honest, never. And I don't know exact the number what I managed as a coach or whatever, but that was so strange. We were that day the clear better side, played a really good football and lost. So when we had these games, and it was then like, okay, you cannot do a lot of things different. So it's not about that. You have just a football team is like an orchestra or whatever, or something else where plenty of people work together. And if you lose one piece, then you can still do it. You lose another piece, and then it gets really difficult. And especially in this league, where everybody performs on such an incredible high intensity level, at least always, even not the best shape stuff like this, but the intensity of the game is always crazy. Means in that moment you lose contact to the football you want to play or you're used to yourself, and to the other teams as well. And that's why it happened. So you need then time to settle again, stuff like this. And obviously we found a way out, which is absolutely great. Whatever happens on Sunday, we found a way out. It brought us in a situation weeks ago. It was not clear we would play European League. So that's now, we achieved that already. And that's not exactly what we wanted, but it's better than nothing, much better actually, and gives you next year a lot of good games. And how ask United in a moment really if they like European League. I would say in a moment they would say yes. They love to play the final, have the chance to win it. So there we already did kind of a job, but not the job we wanted to do. And how we said before, this year with the injuries we had, it was not a year where you can become champion in England. There's no chance for nobody. You kick out, and as good as they are, 3 centre halves of City, no.
He says that even Manchester City wouldn't have won the league with the problems he had.
Change your diaper. Because that's how I felt watching. I was most uncomfortable. We've heard it so many times. We've heard it so many times. And we can all see as football fans, Liverpool have been depleted with injuries. They're not the first team to have injuries, but I'm going to throw them this and say, okay, the injuries in which they had is unheard of, 2 centre backs. But listen, that, like V6 said, that does not affect Mane. How Mane has performed, fighting on the left wing all season.
But can you but not feel a little pity for Klopp when he says I had to use defenders as centre halves as defenders?
That's the benefit of having a big squad.
Thank you.
You've been punished for not having a big squad for 3 seasons. You've cheated the league in the sense that you've played the same 11 for 3 seasons in a row. It's going to come back to bite you. Quickly, it's going to come back to bite you. So you coming and telling us we've been injured, these people, and it won't happen to City. Yes, City too, but you were the unfortunate ones because of what you did prior. The
reality of the matter is this: a very good manager knows how to distract the fans or the viewers or the press and make you have a different narrative. And that's what he's doing now, because the importance of the game against Crystal Palace hasn't been mentioned in that press conference. All he's just talking about is, my players were injured this season. Yeah, the season is over. We know that. We literally have 1 match day left. So why are you telling us again? We know what happened. We know Van Dijk got injured at the Merseyside derby against, So we know all that whole stuff. But the point with Klopp is, Liverpool fans remember a few years ago where they lost or not lost, but they let a 3-goal lead slip to, they call it the miracle of Selhurst Park, where they were leading 3-0. Suarez was still there, Gerrard was still there, and they lost the chance to win the league in 2014. And that might just happen again today because, nobody's giving Crystal Palace a chance. Their manager is actually retiring this season, so it's almost like a farewell charity match for them. But that's when football surprises you. So I think Klopp should focus more on ensuring that Alisson doesn't make a massive error that we know he can make. Yeah, he's a great goalkeeper. He scored last week. But he can also make those massive blunders. Thiago Silva doesn't just only put the thumbs up, but he actually plays good football. Mane turns up, Salah turns up. So that's what he should worry about. Giving us excuses about what happened this season is over.
We all know that.
He lost, we know.
It's mind games. I think
It's mind game, exactly.
It's
So
mind
let
games.
him just focus. And talking about City, to their credits, like he mentioned, they had a big squad. John Stones didn't really play much this season, but guess what? Ruben Diaz was very, very good.
True.
So, yeah, that's where players get to shine. The players, trust me, if those players he signed during the January transfer window were successful, we won't be talking about all this. We won't say,
True.
oh, Van Dijk was injured, because those players didn't just click. It's just how football works. They've been winning for the last 2-3 years, which is good. That's how football is a cycle. Now, prove that you are the proper champions of England and win it
maintain
again
it.
next season.
True.
It's that simple.
Now let's look at the fact that some coaches still feel it's not over until it's over, until the blast of the whistle at the end of the game on Sunday. It's not over yet. One of them is Leicester City manager Brendan Rodgers. He's optimistic that his side aren't down and out in the race for the top 4 on the final day of the Premier League. The Foxes host Tottenham at the King Power on Sunday, needing a win and either a Liverpool or Chelsea defeat to secure Champions League football next season. After 36 weeks in the top 4, Rodgers admitted it will be disappointing if his side failed in their bid to qualify for Europe's top competition.
Yeah, I don't think it's over yet. That's, I have that optimism and that belief that, if we can do our job, then we can do no more than that. And then it's, as I said, it'll be interesting to just see how it finishes up. But what we wouldn't want is for the door to have opened for us and us not to be able to walk through it. So for us, let's get the 3 points. Let's focus on.
Says it's not over until it's over.
This reminds me of the rants of Kevin Keegan back in '96 when he was saying, I
love
tell you, I'll love it, I'll tell you, I love it against United. And that's what Rodgers is doing, because basically they had the chance to wrap this up like 3 weeks ago. Win 2 matches. Just 6 points will have put them away from this whole drama. That's it. So Rodgers saying it's not over until it's over is basically Kevin Keegan in '96 saying, I will love it, love it.
I love it if I beat them.
The truth of the matter is this: we all know this, or not really know, because we can't really predict the future per se. But you are inclined to think that Chelsea and Liverpool will make it to the Champions League come Monday.
Yeah.
That's your thing. So to be honest, even if Leicester win by 1,000 goals, they are still not going to be in there. So
Here's the thing. Here's my take on this. If we ask Leicester fans, Chelsea fans, and Liverpool fans, because like Visit said earlier, the ranking now, and everyone laughed at us when we were celebrating top 4, but the ranking now, Champions League, Premier League, top 4, FA Cup, Carling Cup, or Carabao Cup, whatever it's called now.
Yeah.
Perfect. So if you ask Leicester fans, those are for the top teams. That's the. If you ask Leicester fans, would you take 5th place and an FA Cup? Chelsea fans, would you take 4th place
and the Champions
League spot? Would you take Liverpool fans 4th place with how the season's gone? Everybody will take it. So if Leicester come 5th and win the FA Cup, Chelsea win and come top 4, and Liverpool come top 4. I think everyone's actually happy.
It's a win-win for everybody.
I think everyone's actually happy. So it'll be a fantastic season if Leicester don't even qualify for top 4 because they've won the FA Cup.
And guess what? They'll be in Europe next year by just winning the FA Cup.
Yeah.
True.
Exactly. So.
Okay, now let's look at the fact that somebody is actually leaving. This man has brought, to a large extent, sunshine to the Premier League. And of course, to Man City, who are worthy champions of this year's English Premier League. And he's someone I've always loved because at a point he used to be an in-law to Diego Armando Maradona.
Oh my God.
And that's another story for another day.
He
though.
made it seem as if he was an in-law to you.
Yeah,
I thought it was like your brother-in-law.
Now, Pep Guardiola has paid tribute to Sergio Aguero's incredible Manchester City career ahead of the striker's final Premier League game for the club. The City is likened the club's all-time top scorer to Brazil legend Romario for his unique sense of goal. Guardiola didn't give away whether Aguero will start for the champions against Everton on the final day after an injury-hit campaign. City's manager also celebrated Ruben Diaz after the defender was named FWA Footballer of the Year.
First of all, I said many times, he's an incredible, nice person, funny one, humble one, being the legend that he is, being from Argentina, and in this country where it's so difficult to score goals and do it for many, many years. I cannot imagine how many more goals he would have a score if would I be able to be more fitter than was some periods of his seasons. And it was incredible love for all the backroom staff, because what I said is a very nice person, and the quality of the player is, it's not necessary to add anything else, to say anything else, because his numbers, his performance when he was fit were incredible. So tomorrow is the last game. I'm pretty sure the fans, the 10,000 fans will be in the stadium, will show that the rest of the fans all around the world from Man City want to give him his tribute and a gratitude for what he has done so far, he has done for this club, like it was in terms of titles, numbers, performance. Incredible.
We're all getting has been so good in the Premier League.
I'm completely agree with David Platt. When he's fit and he has continuity and in the training session, the games, he's a guy like Romario. I was in Brazil, a guy like in 5 meters, he can, it's like a lion in the jungle, like making steps and they kill the opponents. He has this quality, but the biggest quality, he has unique sense of goal. So his last goal he scored at Crystal Palace, I think defined perfectly what is Sergio. He needs the first control, 2 or 3 steps, like wow, and it's so speed, and after the quality to make the goal. So he has this quality. I said many times, he will play until 35, 40, 45, he always score a goal. It depends of his physical condition. When he is good in himself, he still can do whatever he wants. He can play, he will play. But he has been injured, trained these 2 days to the partial training session. Tomorrow we'll decide.
Background checks did you have to do in terms of his character? Because obviously his character is a big part of who Ruben is.
A lot. It wasn't expected, honestly. We knew about this quality, but you never know what's going to happen. And especially how he's happy helping the guys. So the defender, when plays just himself is a problem. He always is thinking about his partnership, central defender, holding midfielders, even the wingers. So with a guy he's so generous, he's completely professional, he's 24 hours thinking of football. He's so young, 23, 24 years old. So, and I'm pretty sure in a short time, maybe I'm wrong, but his mates and backroom staff would choose as one of the captains, because he showed he can lead, because the guy in the bad moments always is ready to help. And he won't improve. He listen. He admits his bad moments, and he enjoy and share the good moments for his mates and the rest of the people. And for all of us, a big congratulations for this award.
We have lots of days to talk about Ruben Dias, but of course, Sergio Aguero, massive player. We're here to, no, I said Maradona's in-law. Now, we heard he's already signed a 2-year contract with Barcelona.
Well, it hasn't been confirmed just yet, but of course, Fabrizio.
Yeah, we hear.
But Fabrizio is one of them guys that has his, his sources, so most likely it's true. Going to Barca will be good for him, but let's just speak about his tenure at United. Sorry, at City. Man U fans will not be happy, or they'll be happy he's leaving, but they'll not really celebrate him per se because of what he did in 2012. Yeah. Breaking United hearts that last day of the season. But minus that, Man City truly have a legend in Aguero. His ability, but Yaya Toure is also one of them. Yeah. His ability as a striker was unparalleled. And look at, like you said, in a league whereby you have to be big and strong. You have Harry Kane, Lukaku, you have this tall Drogba, this massive, big Henry, Van Nistelrooy, they have all big and tall. Shearer, but Aguero is very short, but just has a very low center of gravity, and his ability was just unparalleled. So he has been a great, fantastic, addition for City all this year. So
I want to thank you very much. For coming on Plus Sports Special, Victor Goeffrey. Thank you very much.
Pleasure.
Thank you very much, Semilore Adenekan.
Thank you for having us.
I'm having a guest on the show. I was talking about him yesterday. His name is Tosin. We're going to be talking about something, call it controversial, but I think it makes a lot of sense from an angle. He thinks the UFC and boxing should be scrapped. You're asking yourself why? I'll leave you with the fact that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is pleased with Manchester United's Premier League season, but admits there's room for improvement next year. The Red Devils have already secured second place in the league heading into the final day, one position better than last season. The Norwegian also said he doesn't expect captain Harry Maguire to be fit for the Europa League final clash against the Villarreal on Wednesday as he recovers from an ankle ligament injury. Now, speaking ahead of United's game against Wolves, Solskjaer said he anticipates making changes in preparation for their final in Gdansk next week.
We're not where we aim to be. We've got ambitions to move one place further up, of course. But it's been steady improvement. We've improved steadily, surely. Third last season, second this season, some more points. Done really well away from home, of course. We know we had a difficult start to the season with the lack of pre-season and we lost 3 out of the first 6 games, and loads of them were home games, which put pressure on the team. But they've managed really well. The players have been very, very good. Well, of course, you want to go into the final with loads of energy, but also confidence. So we'll make a few changes, freshen up a few, rest a few that's been really playing and been regular in the teams. So we want to go, as I said, go into the last game. We know that we've done really well away from home, and go and enjoy it, get some minutes into a few that might need it before the final. He's walking, but it's a long way from walking to running. So, to be honest, I don't think we'll see him in Gdansk, no. But I'm going to, as I've said so many times, I'm going to give him until Tuesday night, the last training session, and see if he can try to be out there. But steadily but surely he's improving. But ligaments, they take time to heal.
Hi, Ollie.
Hi.
Have you decided what's happening with Juan Mata yet? Obviously, this could potentially be his last game.
Well, we're talking to Juan. We've had good dialogue, good discussion, and that dialogue will continue. Let's see what he wants to do at the end of the season. Of course, he's such a top professional, very, very good player. It's hard for me not to play him more than I have done. Of course, there's been circumstances this season, personal issues that's made him less available, but still, he's still a top player. So that decision will be made after the season finished.
Welcome back on the show. Now, before I go to the topic proper, I've changed guests. I always do that. Welcome back on PlusTvAfrica. Of course, I've got Tosin Akande. Welcome on the show, Tosin.
Yeah, thank you, Wale.
I don't know what to start from with you, but let's start from, let me explain. I explained to people yesterday on the show, and they should expect it today, but people are still, the phone lines will blast now.
Oh, really?
But people have asked me what I meant by somebody wanting his craft. I saw some sense in it.
Okay.
Some guys on Twitter saw sense in it, and using Muhammad Ali and his problems he went through and all that. But they want you to explain to them, what exactly do you mean by scrapping some sports for some reasons?
Well, thank you once again. Good day, viewers. It's always a nice opportunity to talk about this kind of cause.
Yeah.
First and foremost, it's basically humanitarian. It's in the interest of mankind. To a large extent, it's partly cultural too, because if you look at boxing, it's the art of pugilism. You win by defacing or creating, according to lawyers, grievous bodily harm. As a matter of fact, I want people to realize that there was a certain time, particularly towards the end of the 19th century and about the first 30 years in the 20th century, boxing was illegal, declared as outlawed in England and in much of Europe. So if you consider the historical, or the origin of boxing itself, fighting, forget the fact that boxing as a name has an appeal. It sounds nice, boxing. But the origin, the root of boxing is in negative instincts. All creatures of God fight. All animals fight. If nobody has ever known that before, you would have seen in Nat Geo that animals fight. Human beings are animals too, but we are higher animals.
Now, you talk about boxing now. I've seen boxing at the smallest level, just your hands. But we've seen other boxing, other sports now. UFC is even worse. You use your knee, you use your elbow, you use your. We've seen karate where you use your legs, and it's getting only worse. If looking at it from a perspective now.
I'm coming to that. The UFC, as presently allowed, is the vestige of boxing back in the days. Boxing has even witnessed a few changes here and there, from the beginning of the brought-in rules, because before brought-in rules was introduced to boxing, it was fight to finish. It's not boxing as it is today. You fought to win money. And
like the gladiators those days.
Yes.
Yeah.
The other guy has to die. Okay, so brought-in rules says, okay, we don't have to die anymore. Once the guy has surrendered, it's okay. But remember that in UFC, that's even the point, that your opponent is most vulnerable. You go further down when he's down, you go down and start hitting. And then the mere fact that I'm advocating that boxing and the UFC be scrapped, be outlawed. That's what I'm saying. And people are raising eyebrows that it's somehow. I said, what is somehow about it? If slavery could be outlawed by those who were the merchants at that time, William Wilberforce, as we were told, was also a slave dealer. And if he could call his mates and call them to order that let's stop this thing.
Why can't we do it here?
Why can't we do it for boxing?
We'll take your, they'll put the call line will be on the screen. You can actually call and tell us what your opinion is. What Tosin is saying is, it's barbaric as far as he's concerned. It was a barbaric thing when you used to watch people fight to finish in those days, and that we're still carrying it here. And people are actually shouting, having fun, paying money, enjoying themselves to watch one person try and kill the other one.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know what you make of it. I know what I make of it. But I think he has a point there when he says we're having fun at the expense of somebody else suffering. Now, on this side, we're talking about that, but we'll look at other issues while we're talking about that. FIFA will carry out a feasibility study on holding the World Cup and the Women's World Cup every 2 years after backing a proposal and at its annual Congress on Friday. The two competitions are currently held every 4 years, but the Saudi Arabian Football Federation have put forward a proposal for a study of the impact of switching to every 2 years. At the news conference, Gianni Infantino also backed the Tokyo 2020 Olympics going ahead and said FIFA had not encouraged the breakaway European Super League.
We know about the value of the World Cup, believe me. We know as well about the impact that the World Cup can have. Let's see, we will discuss it, we will analyze it. We will, however, in all the discussions and analysis, put the sporting element as a priority, not the commercial element, the sporting element. We know very well, you don't need to be Einstein to know that if you do 2 World Cups in 4 years, you will double the revenues. This will not happen. This will not happen. So we need to consider first if from a sporting point of view this makes sense, if it helps the world, and then we will see. But it's an interesting discussion, and of course any input is welcome, and we'll take your criticisms on board and study them as well. Tokyo, of course, we are all reading the media, we are all seeing what is happening, we are all feeling the tension, but I agree with Thomas Bach when he says that Olympic Games, like football World Cups, are special. Are special in the sense that once they start, they give people a bit of distraction to start with, which is already not bad in this period. But then it gives hope and joy to so many people, because in the Olympic Games you have athletes from all over the world who are participating, and many countries have chances in one or the other sport to win a medal. So we are fully supportive of the Olympic Games in Tokyo. We are fully supportive of these Olympic Games being played in a safe and secure environment. We know that this will imply certain restrictions. We're not happy about that, but we understand it and we will comply with them. And I'm looking forward to these Olympic Games, especially to the start of the Olympic Games, because then all the polemics will stop and we can concentrate on the sport. And as you know, the football tournaments start always a couple of days before the opening ceremony. So football is always first also when it comes to Olympics.
Welcome back. Suggestions that the Olympics should hold. Like I said earlier, our topic this morning is as simple as it gets. Should the UFC, boxing, those sports that you actually get points from by inflicting pain, should they be scrapped? Now, my guest this morning says, Tosin Akande says, yes, scrap them. It's barbaric for us to be in a crowd and having so much fun when the other person is inflicting pain on the guy next door. And he gave an example with those days, the gladiators, when it's a fight to finish.
That's it.
And when we watch those programs, we're actually saying this is barbaric. These people are enjoying this guy killing this guy.
That's it.
But that's what happens in boxing too.
Schadenfreude, it's wrong. It's wrong.
But that's what happens in boxing too.
That's why
we're having fun paying money.
That's why I, in company with others, are asking for this outright abolition of boxing, not just in Nigeria, but of course we will start small. We are looking at a global, phenomenon. Maybe because we have not had the opportunity of a platform such as Infantino has.
Yeah.
We should be talking. And I said, remember at the outset of this segment, I said it's partly cultural. I have taken a very dispassionate look at our own traditional form of fighting. Eke or Ijakadi.
Ijakadi, yeah.
Very good. In Ijakadi, the scoring point, you don't have to deface. You don't have to kill. All you need to do is get the back of your opponent to touch the ground. Unlike in boxing, where you have to inflict pains, you cause serious harm. According to law, grievous. In fact, there's a decided case, the state, R and Coney, in 1882, decided by the highest court in England at about that time, the Queen's Bench division, where it was stated that regardless of the consent of the parties in a fight, bare knuckle fist fighting actually causes grievous, mark my words, grievous bodily harm. This was a statement that came from the bench in England. So if we had received English laws in Nigeria as part of our laws, I mean, it should just apply mutatis mutandis.
You can actually start calling our lines from right now. We want to know what your opinion is, And some people are actually asking themselves, what are you talking about? The call line is 090-6000-5719. That's 090-6000-5719. You're asking yourself, what is this man talking about? How can he tell us to scrap a sport that we've known all our lives? But his angle actually makes a little sense, if you ask me.
If they will allow me to speak for them.
Please.
Very good. Now, some people have said, no, Tosin, it's a big money spinner. I said, look, nothing, no amount of money.
But it is a big money spinner.
It is, I agree. And what I'm saying is that no amount of money can be placed or juxtaposed side by side with the human life.
True.
Part of our constitution, in fact, is Universal Declaration of Human Rights, is that right to the dignity of the human person. It's not dignifying, Wale, to get beaten up. It's not. And sometimes I used to watch some of
situation where
fights.
This person being beaten up,
yeah,
wants to be beaten up because he's going to make money, whether he wins or not, he still goes to make money.
That's why we are saying that regardless of the money that is involved, we are saying ab initio, as lawyers we put it, that this is wrong on its face. Prima facie case of wrongdoing before the issue of money at all comes into reckoning. It's wrong. You don't do that. If a court decision has, held, in fact, it stopped boxing. That was why boxing was outlawed at about that time. But because, you see, look at how the promoters came up. They've been the ones turning the world upside down since, the likes of...
okay, sorry, Tosin. I've got Emmanuel calling from Lagos. Emmanuel, good morning. Good morning, Emmanuel.
Hello.
Good morning. I can hear you, Emmanuel. What's your take?
Hello. Good morning, Mr. Wale.
Good morning, Emmanuel.
Yeah, my name is Emmanuel Odele from Lagos.
Good morning, Emmanuel Odele. What's your opinion of this?
Yeah, my opinion about boxing is kind of somehow because people are used to boxing. So not seeing boxing on TV or UFC to get a lot of people bored and kick a lot of people out of work because that actually creates job opportunities for people.
Okay, that's all you have, Emmanuel. Thank you very much, Emmanuel. Emmanuel says it's going to be boring. But I think that, I don't want to take a swap at anybody yet.
No.
But it's hypocritical for human beings to say we're going to scrap animal fighting. Don't bet on animals, especially and then you say human beings, and you say human beings,
the UFC and the wrestling. In fact, let me give you another example. I've said to many ladies before too that, ladies, it's in your interest to scrap some of these dangerous combat games. If you do not say anything about boxing and the UFC at the height of the savagery that they are really, and then you are coming around to tell us that don't do domestic violence, you are still also a hypocrite. If you are against domestic violence, don't beat your wife, and then you are supporting boxing and the UFC. I watch the UFC sometimes. You know, there are Nigerians who are champions. Even AJ is also a Nigerian. But it's not about that kind of kinsman relationship. I'm talking about global scale humanitarian. I'm not talking about my kinsman alone. Fine Joshua is a Nigerian. Fine Kamal, Israel Adebajo, they are Nigerians. But look, it's not. I can't afford to be myopic. I am talking about humanity in general. Anybody, any white man, any Caucasoid anywhere, any Mongoloid anywhere, any human being does not deserve to engage in those
Let's look at parents,
sports.
for example. Parents will tell you, okay, our regular cable television will tell you they have this thing to actually bar children from watching some things and not watching some things.
That's right.
And then we ask them a question. Our parents say the children shouldn't watch some particular cartoons, but they let them watch boxing as a sport. And it's as harmful as the cartoons are, because you leave your children at home, they are watching boxing, they beat themselves.
I have a small take on that. There's a man, this is a story that I know. There's a man who loves to enjoy wrestling so much so that his children used to watch it. So one day, he wasn't home. You know, they used to place a caution that don't do this at home.
Yeah.
But my problem, my angst with them is that why show it in the first place if you don't want it to be done at home?
At home.
So the elder brother said he wanted to do Jimmy Superfly snooker stuff. So he climbed the bed and flew and landed right on the left knee of his brother. Till today, that guy is
still
lame.
limbs.
Till today, he is lame. Condemned his brother. I don't know what kind of weight that he put that applied the kind of pressure that could condemn the... But you know, we are talking about children.
True.
When they were most vulnerable. So the man must have learned his lesson in the most bitter way. And we are saying that, look, our own Ijaka, the traditional form of wrestling, does not afford all that kind of bestiality.
Where legs are broken and heads are broken.
No, it does not admit. Just let your back to touch the ground. That's all. They did all that to contest for even women in days of yore.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's fun. That for me seems more reasonable as something to enjoy. For example, I'm Yoruba, and they want to announce Joshua's victory over Fury very soon now, and say, Ere Daraya, I mean, apologies to non-speakers of the Yoruba language. What is Daraya? What is relaxation? What is entertainment in pummeling somebody's face?
Okay, I'll come back to you. Don't know if I can still take any more calls this morning. I can still have one call, and let's know your opinion. Do you agree with Tosin Akande when he says boxing, UFC, all those sports that, as far as it's concerned, are barbaric, all those sports that induce violence should be scrapped? He's not even coming from, I thought it was going to come from the angle of the health, but no. He's coming from the moral angle of the fact that he just feels it's barbaric. Why should you have so much fun out there while the other guy is inflicting pain? It's just simply barbaric as far as it's concerned, okay? Before I go on the show today, Stefanos Tsitsipas has booked his spot in the LYON Open semi-finals on Friday, following a comfortable 6-3, 6-4 victory over Japan's Yoshihito Nishioka. The Greek second seed lost just 8 of his service points en route to the win in 66 minutes, and will next meet 19-year-old Italian Lorenzo Musetti, who beat Slovakia's Ajes Bedeni 6-3, 7-6, 2. Russian 8th seed Karen Kachanov also advanced, beating French veteran Richard Gasquet 6-1, 7-6, 3, and will face either Britain's Cameron Norrie or local lucky loser Arthur, who with the pair set to finish their match on Saturday due to rain.
Jeu. Et première manche, Tsitsipas. He just had 3-6 games to 3. Jeu Tsitsipas. Second match at Tsitsipas. Deux manches à 0, 6-3, 6-4, 6-3, 6-4.
Good morning, Omolere calling from Lagos. Omolere, good morning.
Good morning, my brother. How are you today?
I'm good, and you, sir?
Please, this stuff we have now is very sensitive, quite all right, but notwithstanding, I think it's a regulated sport. I don't support the aspect of scrapping it completely. You cannot just scrap a sport that is properly established and regulated. Please take note of that word, regulated. That is why they have different weight categories. The aspect of coming to play that one man is beating the other does not by any means mean that they should scrap it. They don't use, you cannot give a heavyweight to a flyweight to fight. They have regulation that makes sure that any two people that comes together to fight, they have the same weight. And they at least to a very good extent, they have fought to a place where they qualify for different levels within each weight. For instance, if you are fighting a heavyweight now, you won't say because you are heavyweight, you go and fight the champion. No, there are stages you need to go through to qualify you to fight that champion. So it's just that they are both at mark anytime they come to fight. They have the same quality, they have the same, just that one overpowers the other. And to some extent, when the referee discovers that the life of one other person is in danger, the referee stops the fight. So it's a regulated fight. There are rules, there are things you don't do. So you cannot go there and fight because you are not qualified.
Okay,
you are not trained. Any person that fights is trained to fight, and it's of your own will.
Okay, I have your opinion there. Okay, now his point is it's not just fighting. It's regulated fighting, he calls it.
It's not regulated. That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
Most of them are, I'm sorry, with due respect, most of them are ignorant of such claims. It's not regulated. To start with, I was talking about the animal nature of man. We invented religion. We invented law. All right?
Okay,
and so both religion and law, it's illegal to fight, as the decision taken in R. and Cooney, 1882 decision.
Yeah.
And then it's immoral to engage in fights. So it's not regulated.
I wish I could have you for the whole day, but I can't. But I think next week, Saturday, could just be another meet again, you and I.
I look forward to
some
that.
guys still want to call and actually make their point. Tosin Akande,
that.
thank you very much.
Thank
you very much, Victor Goeffrey and Semilore Adenekan for coming on earlier. Join us same time next week on Plus Sports Special on Plus TV Africa. My name is Wale Scott. Like I always advise you at the end of every show, if not for anything, at least for your heart, do some sports.